Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update, your daily source for everything cryptocurrency market news, trading, and analysis. My name is Justin Wise. I'm the senior analyst, senior mentor, and lead analyst at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today, wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and however you happen to be watching us, whether that is on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Trovo, Facebook Live, and or Twitter. Big shout out to all of the premium members and the subscribers to the channel, as well as the followers and subscribers on Twitch, DLive, and everybody watching us on Twitter. The show would not be possible without you. So I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking today, of course, about Bitcoin's price action, whether or not we are actually going to get a sizable bounce. We do see on the lower time frames that Bitcoin is picking up here a little bit after pulling down. Altcoins continuing to do okay in this overall area of the market. So today, in today's show, I want to look at the possibilities of this period of sideways chop that Bitcoin was at, relegated below the $40,000 level. If that was a sufficient period of accumulation for us to expect a maintained and sizable bounce moving forward. We'll also talk briefly about the $680 million hack recently suffered by the RUNE network, the Axie Infinity sidechain, to support their, to support all their transactions. We'll talk about why that was possible, and we'll talk about the current dangers in the state of the market with bridges and the way we currently do cross-chain. Now, I do apologize if the stream quality is a little bit lower today. We are still experiencing like hurricane level winds up here in sunny Colorado. So I am noticing my kind of kilobytes per second bouncing all over the place. So I do apologize if the quality of today's stream is diminished. This should be the last day of such wins, and therefore we can get back to a regular broadcasting schedule and quality beginning tomorrow and moving into the next week of April. All right. And of course, today is April the 7th, 2022, 6 days past April Fools, and it's time to get serious in the markets, guys. So let me know in the chat how you guys are doing, what you guys are watching, what markets you guys are trading, what strategies you're employing, and what you foresee coming up as far as the cryptocurrency markets go. As always, if you enjoy the content and you want to support the stream, make sure to smash the like button over here on YouTube. Even if you're just watching on Twitch, slide on over here to the YouTubes, smash the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and of course, sharing and commenting is much appreciated. Lets me know what I need to improve and keeps me going. With that being said, let's get over into the analysis and do what we do best. All right. First off, let me know, guys, what the quality of the audio volume is. I am utilizing a new program to kind of keep the audio continuous. I would like it to be at a subtle level in the background. I don't want it to be overpowering like a doomts, doomts, doomts Twitch stream, but I just want it there nice and mellow so that there's no awkward pauses if I happen to pause in my analysis or thinking, which, if you're unaware, is a very important part of the discipline when it comes to trading. You need to think about what you're doing. This is not a mindless behavior. So let me know if I need to boost that up a little bit or lower it down. Fox Trader, good to see you over there on Twitch, my friend. Zybernetics, Kyle Mitchell, good to see you as well. Chris Henshaw and Midnight Synergy. Audio sounds good, but is there music again? Okay, so apparently that means the music is too low. So let's boost that up to about negative 35 decibels. And you let me know if that is sufficient now, if that's coming in okay. All right. Shout outs to Nazgul Pro for the follow over there on Twitch, and Sevenism for the subscription over on YouTube. Bob the Builder, thank you so much. Coming in hot with the $10 super chat. Highly appreciated, my friend. He says, pumped to finally catch a live. Good to see you, my friend. Happy that you're here on the stream, and thank you so much for the generous contribution to the show. The audio is deep fried. Well, knowing you, Joe, I think that is a good thing. Fox Trader says, last time we talked, Bitcoin was 4K, and we're still here. We're still here. $10x later, we are still here. Sneaks123, good to see you over there, my friend, as well. All right, let's jump right into today's analysis, guys. Bitcoin is currently trading at $43,628.50. If we go down to the lower time frames, we can see that we are pushing up off the recent lows that we just made down here. We did trade as low as $42,703.50. This is the Bybit chart, so this is going to be the perpetual futures chart. Let's go ahead and, for the purposes of our long-term analysis, switch now over to the Bitstamp chart. Let's look at the spot chart of Bitcoin so we can kind of see the way that this market is moving. We'll hide our drawing tools here first and just start off with a brief analysis of price action. Of course, last week we did close with that weekly doji, and so far getting some follow through on that indecision that weekly doji kind of printed us. An indecision candle or a doji candle is an indecision candle. It's not necessarily bearish or bullish. It just means the market has generally reached a level of equilibrium. It isn't sure whether it's going to continue moving up or begin moving down, depending on which direction we've been moving. In this case, we can see that the market did begin to move down. However, I do want to point out this decreasing volume, which can be concerning for one of two things. One, that there isn't sufficient volume on this movement to the upside, and also, but this is why spot volume is tricky, and why when we want to look at volume, we really kind of want to look at the derivatives, because that is what pushes price. The futures markets contain the majority of the volume, so we really do want to do our analysis of volume on the derivatives markets, where we do see a little bit of a different picture. But overall, here on the weekly, we do see declining spot volume, which could suggest that there is not enough oomph to this maneuver and that there has not been enough sufficient accumulation. Another way to picture this as well, we always, when we're looking for a BDB, a big daily breakout trade, and this is a good classification of what I like to consider the Pathways to Profit strategy course, this is typically what we're going to teach. These are the primary types of trades that we're looking for. These initiation trades, these primary trades, we are looking for the market to go from bearish to bullish, bullish to bearish. We are attempting to ride a markup phase as high up as possible, and we're attempting to ride a markdown phase as low as possible. And one thing that I've noticed with all assets is that there is always a period of accumulation before a real trend begins. All right, music's too loud. Let me bring that down to about -45. How's that? Let me know how that is, guys. There is always a period of accumulation that occurs before a significant trend emerges. You can have like nice big, like for example, here we have this long drawn out period of accumulation where Bitcoin obviously it does significant moves here, but nothing like this, nothing like 2017, where we saw this massive run, and nothing like 2021 and 2020 where we saw this massive run. And it's possible that on the higher scale here, that this is a broad level of accumulation on that journey up to about $150,000 Bitcoin. But we can see here that there was a period of accumulation here in this area right here where the market did move sideways. Enough individuals got the opportunity to accumulate Bitcoin, enough weak hands sold their Bitcoin into market flow order, wanted to push price to the upside, and we got this nice maneuver. And we can see that accumulation lasted for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, so about 2.5 months. We have something very similar over here where we have this period of accumulation for about 8 to 9 weeks. And then eventually we get a couple nice bullish engulfing candles. Now, of course, the concerning thing is that we obviously made quite a stride here when we broke out from that period of consolidation before a pullback. And here we just barely managed to get above before the pullback occurred. So the next few weekly candles will be very important in Bitcoin's history. As I've said, if we end up trading back down into the range, we could view that as relatively not good, because we saw something very similar happen in 2018 during this long sideways descending triangle that we formed before eventually breaking down to the 3K lows. And again, we saw something a little bit similar here. However, and again, if that does occur, I think that would be another feather in the cap of this analysis that I've been performing for you guys for quite a while, where what we have discovered is that following Bitcoin reaching a cycle high, it follows this pattern of correcting down to the 55 weekly exponential moving average, bouncing, correcting down to the 100 weekly exponential moving average, bouncing, and then ultimately correcting down to the 200 simple moving average, where we actually find our highest value area. And again, we've seen this over and over in Bitcoin's history. We see after reaching a cycle high, ultimately correcting down to the 200 simple moving average. And just for reference, that level is coming in around $21,000. So we do have a low bottom price on Bitcoin of about $21,000. That is the downside target. If Bitcoin's price were to reach $21,000, in my estimation, that would be a back the truck up type accumulation event, because those moments only come a few times in history. and they come before a long-term accumulation and a huge bull run, right? A huge bull run that follows, right? Generally lasting anywhere from about 2 years is the average, right? Then we follow kind of a year of sideways BS, and then a year of downside, a year to 18 months. Okay, so having noted that, where are we at right now? And what are the possibilities for Bitcoin moving forward in the short term? So we know in the long term, that we can expect over time a higher price in Bitcoin. We understand the fundamental value proposition of Bitcoin. We understand that Bitcoin is fundamentally valuable. We understand that it represents the future of digital currency, and we understand that it is the backbone and core of the entire cryptocurrency market. So for that reason, from a fundamental perspective, I'm very confident in expecting Bitcoin's price to eventually, over the next 5 to 10 years, be higher than 69,000, higher than our current all-time high, right? So we can see here just on the chart, 69,000, call it that for good estimate, is the current high in Bitcoin's price. And I do not think that this is the global top, the macro top. I am certainly not a believer that Bitcoin is in any way tulip trading, or that Bitcoin has been hyped, and that the market cycles are now over. All right. So we are, of course, going to be trading higher in Bitcoin's price. Other major crypto assets are going to follow along as well. And the future of cryptocurrency is yet to be decided, right? Whether Bitcoin is going to be a global reserve currency, whether Bitcoin is going to implement features of other blockchains, whether Ethereum or some other competitor will actually take the reins and outperform Bitcoin, but certainly Bitcoin is going to remain as sound money and as some form of monetary standard moving forward as we progress into the next phase of human evolution, or societal evolution, I should say. Massive changes moving forward in humanity. So, but anyways, we know that Bitcoin's price will eventually be higher. However, in the medium term, right, in the medium term, over the next year or so, I think that we can, I think that it would be wise if we anticipate a continued market decline down to about 21,000. Maybe we don't make it all the way down there. However, history shows that we will probably eventually make it down there as well. And therefore, protecting yourselves either in the form of hedging, which can be a tricky thing, or just being concerned, just being reserved about that, just understanding your downside potential, understanding that price target. We are talking about another 50% decline in your investment if Bitcoin were to struggle all the way down to that $21,000 level. So I don't want anybody sitting in the winds and just being sad and upset or confused because their investments aren't doing very well. This is the time when bear markets occur. When markdown phases of the market happen. This is the time when forward-thinking individuals who have the courage and temerity to actually put their money where their beliefs are, to put your money where your mouth is, and to begin investing slowly into projects that you think are going to not only survive the bear market, but perform well in the next bull market. This is where fortunes are made. So having the temerity, having the courage, and the forward thinking to begin accumulating Bitcoin at these prices all the way down to 21,000 is the proper mindset. Having said that, when it comes to trading, there is a possibility that this run is not over. Again, as I said, I do feel that we've had a sufficient period of accumulation to have a bit more of a sustained bounce. And as I've said previously, $52,000 to $59,000 price targets do make a whole lot of sense to me. So zooming in, here's what I'd like to see moving forward for the next few weeks, or particularly for this weekly close. A weekly close maintaining a weekly close above the current level of previous resistance turn support in the form of the weekly 55 exponential moving average would be very strong here. If this weekly candle does close above the weekly 55, I would be looking on the daily time frame for something like this, but a little bit more powerful. As I talked about yesterday, one simple strategy that you guys can utilize to interpret when it has a pulled back, and when are we beginning the next kind of leg up. You can simply switch over, and this isn't perfect, but it's a good trading strategy. Switch over to a Heikin-Ashi chart. So following price declining right here, as we can see, price has now moved down. We are now trading at the daily 55 exponential moving average. We've lost the daily 100 exponential moving average, but we have maintained the weekly 55 here. So we can simply wait until the the daily Heikin-Ashi turns green here, and that might be a good indication that this has been a good pullback and that price is going to continue on its next leg up. Of course, we were rejected on this movement to the upside by the 200 daily simple moving average. However, we continue to see our moving averages have broken above the 100 here, have broken above the 55. So overall, we're now in a kind of just an interesting area of the market, right? Where we're attempting to break out above resistance and put in a bit more of a sustained bounce. But so far we've run into resistance and pulled back. So as we can see broadly, if we do successfully maintain this level, that weekly 55 level, we can interpret this as a break of resistance and a pullback and a retest of that previous resistance turn support. I think that would be a good sign. And we can either then expect Bitcoin to immediately move up and break above the 200 daily simple moving average, or perhaps we do range here for quite a while, maybe another period of reaccumulation before beginning the next leg up. However, I do think it is very likely, as we can see here from the volume coming in, that we have had a sufficient accumulation in this period to trade to higher prices. It doesn't mean it's absolutely going to happen. But in my estimation, I would be surprised if we just immediately break down from here. Not surprised, so to say, but after seeing this period of accumulation, I do think that a more sustained bounce is likely. So we'll hold out for the Bulas here. On the daily time frame, we can see that following a huge bearish engulfing candle to the downside, following a almost, and I'm hesitant to call this a perfect swing failure pattern. We do have a new high. Price pulls back. We are unable to make a newer high, and we do pull back from that. So one way to have traded this, of course, is to have immediately entered a short on the breakdown of the previous level of support. All right. And honestly, whether you entered at the wick, closing below the wick, or whether you entered closing below the candle body, you still would have had a profitable trade. Now, that is an analysis of price action and where we are with regards to our moving averages, previous levels of support and resistance. I have drawn this green box here based on volume profile, as well as this large volume candle here to indicate the volume area of resistance, where liquidity is in the market. So there is sufficient liquidity up in this area. As you see, we have traded down to the lower realm of that box. Again, the daily 55, the weekly 55 holding us up as well. So again, just to rehash, holding this level could be good, or holding this level would be good. And then we can enter on one of several different ways. We can wait. So going to our premium indicators here, if you guys do not have access to these indicators, these are for all of our premium subscribers in the premium trading group. They get access to our analysis, they get access to our signals, they get access to our tools and products and services. The simplest way that we can look for a continuation trade here following a pullback is to either A, wait for the Heikinashi to turn green, as we mentioned earlier. So we're waiting for momentum and trend to shift back up to the upside. Conversely, we can also use the regular candlestick charts, and we can wait for a momentum oscillator crossover, right? So looking at time transformation, we would want to see the signal line cross over the trigger line, and that's going to be a potential indicator. That's going to be a good trigger for an entry. We can do the same with Minx. Of course, Minx will be a little bit slower, and I think being a little aggressive here is going to be warranted. Other than that, we don't really have anything else coming in here on the daily that's too interesting to talk about. Just a break above resistance and currently a pullback, and we're going to see if we're going to hold this level of support. Should we break down from this level, then we're going to be looking at being back in the range. Bitcoin's either going to come down here and retest this previous level of support, or it's going to just continue breaking to the downside. So coming into Monday, I'll be interested to see day and tomorrow. I'll be interested to see if this level holds. If it does not hold, then I'll likely be looking for an entry into a momentum short, and I'll likely be using the Meso timeframes to indicate that. So let's talk about that here in just a second. I do want to hide these drawing tools here and just show you how one could be trading this with a PTP strategy. So using a PTP strategy on here, you can see that we have broken the daily baseline right here. And we're putting in a doji beneath it. So potentially we could interpret this as a breakdown, a retest of resistance, basically previous resistance, now new, previous support, now new resistance. So should we follow this up with not a close back above the baseline? Should we follow this up with continued movement to the downside? We've had potential short entry trigger right here. Now we do not have expanding volatility. However, all of our indicators, with the exception of Minx, which is above the zero line. So Minx is not signaling for a short here at this period in time. So in this type of situation, you have to be taking a more aggressive kind of trend initiation short, which is going to give you a higher failure rate. But you can still, if you're lucky, you're going to catch the maneuver when it happens. So Minx is not indicating that we should be really going short in this area yet. Minx is still above the zero line here. So we're not really looking for trending market shorts here. It's not really what we're looking for. As we can see here, when Bitcoin actually does end up breaking down from the 26 daily baseline up here, Minx goes negative very shortly thereafter and basically signals this entire area of the market to be short in. All right. And of course, we've had this daily chop. However, we have not yet re-entered that level of bearishness yet with Minx. All right. Minx is simply given a take profit signal right here, and a potential short signal as well for a reversal trade, which is beginning to pay off handsomely right here. And of course, we did have that sell signal from time transformation right here on the 30th of March as well, right a day before my birthday. So all right, let's take time here for a few questions. Sizzling in the grease, my friend. Yes. Chris Hinshaw says, can you elaborate on how you open a new position? Say your position size is $1,000 or X% of your portfolio. Do you find a good entry point and go all in, or do you divvy it up on several opening trades? This is going to depend on a personal strategy, but if you're asking what I do, so I've got a couple different entry strategies, and it kind of depends on the time frame that I'm trading on. If I'm looking for when I'm accumulating positions, and I usually use the weekly for this. Sometimes I'll use the daily to attempt to optimize them a little bit. But for this, I'm really kind of talking about additions to my long-term portfolio. I tend to just dollar cost average. So actually, let me go all the way back. When I'm adding cryptocurrencies to my portfolio, I simply dollar cost average. When it comes to active trading, the primary time frame that I trade on is going to be the daily time frame. And I've recorded a lot of material on this, and I've tried lots of different things over the years. But in general, when I am using my trading strategy, my objective technical indicator-based trading strategy. So for example, when I get a trading signal, let's look at an example right here. So Bitcoin had signaled long. Let's see, we've got price closing above the baseline right here. Minx closes above the zero line right here. Attar explosion has a rising explosion level with positive delta. So everything confirms on this candle right here. And what I do is I wait until daily close, or about 30 minutes before daily close, and I just market enter. All right. I've tried for years, and I still will occasionally use limit orders. And I know that there's, some people prefer to use limit orders, of course, because their order will only get filled at their price. But I find it, once I've got a good trade and I'm using a high hit rate strategy, I'm using a profitable strategy, I just market enter because I don't want to miss the movement. And I'm okay. I use proper risk management. If the trade moves against me, I exit the position. And I don't really, because I'm trading on the daily time frame, I'm not super concerned with the difference between here and here, right? I'm not super concerned with this difference. Like if I would have waited, obviously maybe I could have gotten a better price on an intraday level. I'm not really concerned because I'm not concerned about this movement. I'm concerned about this movement, right? I'm looking for a big daily breakout trending movement that I like to get in. Now, we have this entire trading journal, an advanced position size calculator for all our premium members get access to that. It's a custom spreadsheet that I've built to help you determine what your position sizing is. So because we recommend that beginner traders especially use about 2 to 3% risk per trade, lower if you're a complete beginner, so maybe 1% or even 0.5% of risk per trade, so that you can understand exactly what you're doing, so you can understand exactly how much you're likely to make or how much you're likely to move, and you won't blow your account out. You have to maintain your bankroll. If your question is per asset, so do I split my position up with different entries on the same asset? No, I simply market enter with my entire position size. I set my take profit, I set my stop loss, and I look away from the chart. That keeps me from making mistakes, right? Watching the charts, worried about what price is doing, thinking I see a reversal, getting overly concerned with price action. No, that's not the way that I trade. I simply conduct my daily scan. I find my potential trades. I do further analysis. If I decide I'm going to take the trade, I wait until the right time to take the trade, which is about 30 minutes before daily close. I market enter into the trade and I walk away. Now, when I am day trading, however, when I'm actively trading on the lower time frames, I'll often use starter positions. So for example, let's say, I'm looking for let's say in this range, right, on Bitcoin, I had been looking for a breakout trade. So I decide, I map out my support and resistance. I can see that there is resistance here. So we'll get array. let's say, so I mark out resistance here, and I say to myself, okay, well, once price breaks above this level of resistance, I will add, I'll take maybe $1,000 position size. And then I will wait to see, I'll wait to see what happens with price, right? If price pulls back to that previous level of resistance, like if price does a pullback and then begins moving back up again, and maybe breaks this level, then I'll add a much larger area. I'll add like a full position size, like $20,000 or something like that. And, I find that's a good way to day trade. If you're using higher leverage, if you're using larger position sizes and you're trying to maximize small movements in Bitcoin's price or any asset's price, I often find that it's best to establish, okay, what do you think's going on in the market? Do you think this is, for example, we seem to have a double bottom here, a higher low, and we now have 3 subsequent lower highs. So for example, if you think that the market is accumulating here and we're going to begin pushing to the upside, then you could put on a starter position in this area, something that is not nothing, but let's say, if you have $1,000 account, let's say you take a $50 position. Take a $50 position, and then as price begins to move in your favor and you start to see signs of like higher lows, you start to see previous resistances being broken, you start to see your indicators, for example, begin trending to the upside, or you're seeing crossovers on higher and higher prices, then you can start adding to your position size until you have a larger position size and you've scaled into your position as prices moved in your favor. And I find that's a much better way, particularly for intraday trading, to actually build up to a larger position that is going to be profitable for you to trade without throwing all your eggs into one basket right at the beginning. So the way I day trade is a little different from the way I trade on the daily time frame. Ermias T asks, do I take signals from Waddah differently on the lower time frames compared to the daily? Not really. Not really. I just use Waddah Attar Explosion primarily for its rising explosion level. I think that's the best feature of Waddah Attar Explosion. However, we have the Waddah Attar Explosion Strategy Tester. It is a fantastic strategy in its own right. It's one of our most popular products. Obviously, Waddah Attar Explosion is it's a free indicator on TradingView. Anybody can utilize this indicator. It's fantastic at spotting entries and exits. It's got the false positive filter if you want to avoid noise here, for example. So the way to utilize this is many. I've got a whole video on it on the YouTube channel. Make sure to check that out. But the Waddah Attar Explosion Strategy Tester it's a beast. It's probably the biggest strategy tester that I've ever made. And it's very cool, very easy to make, very profitable strategies with that. So we have a lot of people use the Waddah Attar Explosion Strategy Tester. But thank you for the question, Chris. I appreciate it. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so that's basically our roadmap of Bitcoin here, guys. Bitcoin had previously broken above resistance. It's pulled back. We are attempting to establish a new level of support at a slightly higher price. If we could successfully do that, I think that we can successfully move up here and start breaking above our current level of resistance in the form of the 200 daily simple moving average. And if we're unable to do that, and if we lose the 55, both on the daily and on the weekly here, the weekly is what I'll be watching closely. If the weekly can maintain that weekly 55 exponential moving average, I think that will be good. And I think we can expect higher prices. You can be aggressive and look for a long entry here. You can buy the dip, but I think you're going to be better off as a trader using some form of objective strategy, whether that's going to be a momentum oscillator crossover or simply waiting for the Heikin-Ashi bar to turn the right color. In this case, we would like the Heikin-Ashi bar to turn green and to see price moving up. Okay. So now we're going to go over to the derivatives markets and pay close attention to what Bitcoin is actually doing on Bybit. So we can kind of get an idea for what we're doing today. Again, same general picture. We are either going to be seeing accumulation here. So we're going to zoom out and we're going to look at the 15-minute time frame here. We are either going to be seeing sideways accumulation here before price begins to spike up, And it's totally possible here that we just move sideways here for a while. Even into Friday, and then Saturday maybe we get some spikes up, and then Monday will be the real determinant if that is the case. If we move sideways here, it will either be redistribution before another leg down, or it will be accumulation before another move up. Remember that individuals, before the market moves, before the market does one of these, right, one of these big moves, individuals have to have their positions filled, and it takes time and it takes liquidity to do that. So, for example, if the intention is to move the market to the upside, then it's going to take time for everyone who wants to sell at the lows and to fill the orders of market makers and begin moving price up. So what do we see here on the lower time frames from Bitcoin? Well, we can see that basically we've been selling off for the last couple of days. However, now we can see these big volume spikes coming down into these, basically into the support box that we've drawn. So big volume spikes coming down into the support box. And what do we see here? We see a big price tail and the local bottom of the market. All right. Now we're starting to see volume rise, right? Which is a good thing. We're starting to see the market move up as volume is rising. So that's good. We see that there is sufficient buying here. We do have to get over this area right here. As we can see, a lot of volume in this candle. So that's going to, for me, establish the current significant level of resistance. So let's draw a slightly smaller rectangle. As we can see, this red candle right here is where the volume really comes into the market. So we do have this level of resistance right here, right now. All right, so this area is going to be between 44,189 and 44,560. So I would be wary of initial movements up into this. There's out there who are wanting to trade reversion to the mean and potentially take advantage of this range. If we see price come up into this area, I think we can safely take intraday shorts anytime price comes up into this area. And I think you'll be relatively safe with that strategy. You can be taking profits here, here, or here. And then waiting and looking for exhausted volume to the downside. So looking for volume spikes, looking for long price tails to potentially take price back up. And then finally, I think that strategy is going to be successful. It's just going to be a basic reversion to the mean strategy. What we're watching for, though, is eventually for price to break above this level, in which case you want to you want to quickly exit your short and flip to the long side for the breakout trade. So that's the intraday strategy. I think we'll be successful doing that. Love me some Gritztribution. Okay. Just checking my positions over here on Bybit, guys. Okay, let's go check in with Crypto Bubbles and see what the overall markets are doing today. We can see that we do have a pretty nice day in the markets for altcoins here. It's a bit of a mixed bag. We do have Near Protocol down another 10.7%. I would like to take this actually opportunity now to point out my analysis on Near Protocol. So we had done this just a few days ago on this channel, and I had said that I expected, as you guys can see, I've had this drawn for quite a while. I was expecting that Near Protocol would reject from here and potentially trade all the way down to these lows. We do have take profit targets here in the form of $12.66, $11.10, $9.52. So essentially, we're looking for a swing failure pattern here on near protocol. Daily time frame. Again, you can just see that volume spike, big indecision doji candle, and subsequent decline down. Now, haven't really broken below this ascending trend line here. So it is possible that near does pull back and then continue on to the upside, which will invalidate this pattern that I've drawn out. But so far, that's what we've got. And this one is not quite as clean as RUNE. Of course, RUNE suffering as well. And I did do this on Binance. Here we go. Yeah. So here's RUNE. And we can see that we've established this long-term level of resistance. And we are forming just this long pattern of lower highs and equal lows. So RUNE has come back up into that area again. I set an optimum area to enter into those shorts was going to be between here and here. So we are again looking to take RUNE all the way down to these lower levels. Okay. But let's see what's moving today. USD Neutrino, which is the stable coin on the Waves ecosystem, after losing its peg all the way down to 75 cents, has mightily strove back up. All right, we're pretty much back up to peg, guys. 96 cents. One Neutrino USD does equal 96 cents. So, oh ye of little faith. Oh ye of little faith. Waves itself is up 6.8% today. Kusama up 4.2%. Engine is up, let's see here, 3.7%. Anchor Protocol, which I am personally long on, is up 2.6%. We've got Cake. We've got Toncoin, which I've honestly never traded, but whatever, it's up. And our big losers of the day are going to be Near Protocol, Oasis Network, and Steppen, GMT. Steppen was on a little bit of a tear, but down 8.5% today. And the rest of the market is a little bit of a mixed bag. We've got some up a few percentages, some down a few percentages. So overall, kind of sideways day of the market. Pretty normal to see when Bitcoin is accumulating or moving sideways. And we're not sure whether we're going to get that sustained movement to the upside or whether we're going to continue downwards. So totally natural here. Good opportunity for you guys to be researching new positions and to not really be getting caught up in nonsense. All right, so if these are true, so for example, if my analysis on RUNE and Near are true, then likely, unfortunately, Bitcoin is probably going to continue breaking down. So one of those situations where I don't want to be right, but such is life. Let's take a look here. So Near Protocol, we'll take a look today. We'll take a closer look at Near. We'll also take a closer look at Oasis Network here. And we will take a look at Waves and see if Waves can continue its rally or whether it is over with. So let's start off with Near. So here on the weekly time frame, really, what do we see here? We are looking at Near USDT on Binance. We can see that we've had about 3 nice bullish engulfing weeks to the upside. Nothing really significant here with volume. You know, rising volume a little bit as price was moving up. But I don't really see anything interesting other than that in terms of volume. Let's actually hide our drawing tools here. And let's see here. So we are in a broader uptrend. We do have that weekly 55 exponential moving average moving up. So we are in a broad uptrend. Near has been in a sustained uptrend. We are also above the weekly baseline as well. But as we can see here with this asset, this isn't something that really trades very well with a weekly oh, excuse me, I see here in just a second. Sorry. I had the settings wrong there. There we go. That's a little better. As we can see here, we actually are above the weekly baseline. So we are trading higher than the average of the last 26 weeks for NEAR USDT and attempting to pull back and retest that level. How well does NEAR respect the Donchian 26? I would say that it respects it relatively well. We do have a couple of fake outs here. And let's see what our indicators are telling us. All right, so interestingly enough, our weekly minx was previously overbought, where we got this bearish cross under signal right here. Of course, time transformation was a little earlier with it on this large sell side candle, but this was a negative 40% month or week for NEAR. So bad time to be holding NEAR. Let's see here. We do have this nice crossover right here on this candle, indicating a potential uptrend. And that did occur above the weekly 55 as well. So pretty good signal right there. Good continuation signal leading to this. So far, my long-term analysis standing. That's what we can expect in the case of a NEAR rejection here. However, we do want to see a couple things of confirmation here. If we really do think that NEAR is going to put in an 80% correction here, then we do want to see NEAR lose our moving averages. We'd also like to lose our weekly 55 exponential moving average. It's going to be a 42% decline to the downside should that occur. Daily time frame. Nothing to get super scared about yet. We are above all of our major moving averages. We are attempting to today lose the fastest in the form of the 8. And we saw exactly what Bitcoin did when it lost all its previous moving averages. Do I think using the long short ratio in combination with indicators is a good idea for day trading? You know, I haven't had massive success with it. I know some traders that do. For example, usually when I look at the long short ratio, for example, of Binance traders, the strategies that I've seen work the best are going to be using that in combination with open interest and funding. Now, I don't tend to trade that way. I just prefer to utilize technical analysis and try to plot out the bigger moves. But I think it can be a fine tool. Any tool that you can use in an objective fashion, that you can get actual signals from, can be used in a trading strategy. Okay. Yeah, so one thing that does concern me as well is this very large sell side volume candle following a daily sell signal from time transformation. So unless the market turns around here, guys, I think that NEAR is going to experience a little bit more downside over the coming weeks. Interesting. You cheeky little bugger. All right. Let's check back in with Bitcoin here. See what we're doing. Okay. Bitcoin continuing to push up following a higher low that we experienced today. Altcoin markets are moving a bit to the upside here as well. Anticipating potentially a higher move. Moving sideways here for about the last hour. Looking to see if we slide up and retag this level of resistance. But ultimately, I am looking for price if we are going to continue moving higher. Even if we're going to continue moving lower, I would like to see price revisit this area of liquidity around 44.5. Okay, other outliers of the day are going to be Oasis Network, down now 7.3%. Let's check it out. You know, Oasis Network does not look good to me here, guys. We had this big period of markup, and then all the volume came in here at the top of the market, indicating that coins are changing hands at a very rapid pace now. And I think everyone who wanted to buy has bought at these highs, most likely. So we have declining volume, a little bit of rising volume here. Unfortunately, I'm just not seeing the impetus that could continue to propel Oasis Network to the upside. On the daily time frame, we have a very large rejection candle following an evening star candle. Very large bearish engulfing candle with very high volume. And although the markets are putting in a little bit of a bounce today, it's not very big, guys. It's not very big. Regular bearish divergence coming in here on the daily time frame from time transformation. So the market made a higher high, oscillator made a lower high, and Minx has finally crossed over as well on today's daily candle. Looking at PTP, no bottom feeder bottom signals. And Oasis seems to be respecting the daily baseline relatively well. And as you guys can see, we have just broken down below it. So unless we get price back above 27 cents, I am expecting further downside on Oasis Network. Pablo Escobar Looks like I got a little bit of a gray screen here. Sorry, guys. No, looks like I'm back. Pablo Escobar asks, how do I feel about trading just using Japanese candles? Didn't the guy who invited it just use them? Well, Japanese candlesticks date back a long period in time. And basically what you're talking about is using price action strategies. I've written a lot about this in the Pathways to Profit course and in my educational content on our online trading academy. There are, hey, B-Flow, good to see you, my friend. There are profitable strategies that can revolve around price action. The only problem that I think price action strategies present for traders, and it's a big one, is that it can be very subjective, right? Whereas indicators, while they still can fall into the trap of being subjective, are significantly less so. So I do believe that the path for anyone who wants to become a trader goes like this. At first, you want to be a completely mechanical trader, meaning that you develop a rules-based if this then that strategy, which is exactly what the Pathways to Profit course is intended to do. It teaches you, it gives you a complete framework for how to build your own objective trading strategy, how to backtest it, how to walk it forward, and how to trade it live. After you become a profitable trader utilizing mechanical system, you will begin to use discretion in your positions. And following that, ideally, you can become an intuitive trader. This is the path to becoming an intuitive trader that Mark Douglas lays out in his book, Trading in the Zone. And it's definitely been true for me. So yeah, I just don't see a opportunity here for Oasis. I'm good on this one. Waves is pumping a little bit right now. Let's check Waves out. Yeah, nice big weekly, or excuse me, nice big run here on Waves. Go to the daily here. Nice big run here on Waves. Let's see, Waves has pulled back, had quite a decline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down candles here. And after an indecision candle yesterday, we are pushing up a little bit. I've reached Cheddar. Far from, my friend. Guys, I am so sorry about the quality of the stream. Let's see. All right, what do we think, Waves? Waves has, of course, had an incredible run. A little bit of a sell-off. Are we going to get a swing failure pattern here, or are we just going to consolidate and continue moving down? Indicators aren't really giving us a whole lot here. Coming off of regular bearish divergence and a sell signal over here on the 2nd of April. We've now had a decline in price since that signal, currently of about 37% to the downside. Go down to the 6-hour time frame. We do have a 6-hour time transformation buy signal here. Very cool to see. So let's... Minx just gave us the bullish crossover right here, declining. Let's see here, we had volume come into the market. Let's do a little starter position with Waves here. And we'll do... Okay. We'll start our position on waves here. Put that one on my active list. And with FXS. No. Maybe. Okay. Nice to see all my trades turning green here today. Cosmos doing well today. Polygon doing well today. Luna is so-so. Yeah, Atom's definitely doing good today. Was MATIC. FUSDT attempting to break above point of control resistance right now. SPY not really doing much of anything. Hello, Ram Codes. Welcome to the stream. Cybernetics is requesting Mir, and Ernias T is requesting Zag. Zig and Zag. What do I think about Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen? SPEAC. Oh, her speech? Relatively uneventful. I didn't actually listen to it. I watched, you know, the FOMC meeting or whatever. Our minutes went live yesterday. Oh. Yes, I do, Ram Codes. I think Bitcoin will likely trade down to $21,000 eventually. Ooh, there's MATIC making a big move there. Let's go see if we can't take advantage of that. Well, I don't see any significant volume, so I would actually expect that to continue. I'm kind of extended here, though. I am not lying. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't be sure. But I can look at what Bitcoin has done historically and see that we're not, doesn't appear that we're at the end of the correction phase. In the short term, though, I think 52.59. All right, market's turning a little bit more bullish here, guys. All right, Mir and Zag. Mir and Zag, guys. All right, let's start off on the weekly. All right, so is this your bottomed out lotto ticket, bro? This is the bottomed out lotto ticket, huh? All right, weekly buy signal from time transformation just occurred on this candle right here. Right there. And Minx gave a little bit of a buy signal on that same candle, actually. Big volume to the upside. A lot of wicks. Nice volume on this push. This doesn't look half bad. The only problem is there wasn't really a big period of accumulation here. So I'm not sure if we're going to really continue this rally. You guys know I don't really like trend lines, but kind of got this going on. You know what I mean? Even if we draw it here. Right? Even if we kind of draw it there. Yeah, it seems like the 21 weeklies pretty much smacked price down every time. But we are trying to come up above it with some good volume here. Let's go down to the daily. All right, daily is relatively interesting here. Again, these nice big gigapumps. They're getting sold into immediately. Here's some daily accumulation right here. Immediately got thrown back down, but we held the level. So this is pretty simple. Let's get VPVR on here and see where our that's pretty cool. We are trading above point of control resistance right now. So I think if we can hold this level here on Mir, this level of support, about $1.70, then we'll see what happens. No, he can see it. There should be the Restream bot beams all the messages to all the different platforms. So you should be good. So here's the thing, like every time Mir has come up here, it's just gotten swatted down. So I want to see a daily close up in this area. I want to see evidence. What's going on with my... I want to see evidence that okay. I really want to see some hard evidence from the charts that Mir is going to not just wick back down from this level of resistance. So I want to see some rising volume. Let's go another 6-hour time frame. See what we got going on here. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty clear, right? You've got big accumulations trying to break up above. We're pushing back up again. Keep dipping back down to this level of support. This is a nice range trading asset if I've ever seen one. So, yeah, I would be a buyer closer to this level of support until we lose it. And then I would run like hell, man. And if we can break up above here, above $2, see. Can break above $2, then we can probably project more onto there. So we'll start here. What's the distance from here to here? Let's say right here, about another 15% for 0.314. So that means we could probably expect 250, 280, and $3 if we do break. Yeah, that makes sense. Tell you what, I just need anchor to keep moving up. What I need. Looks like wave reached that level of resistance again and rejected. Dink. Good to hear. I love hearing that noise. Thank you, Fetty. Question on cheese. Bflow says placing a limit short 0.5667 for a Woo STD, looking for a rejection off 3-hour STD with the time transformation getting closer to oversold by then. Let's check it out. Woo's coming out of a big, you know, super duper demon short right here. Bam. And you're saying five, six, seven, 666. Yeah, I like it. 3 hours getting a little close to overbought. Looking for a rejection after this little fake breakout. Revisit back to previous support. Act as new resistance. And then I just use this close above. This close above to begin signaling your invalidation. Now it's likely that if price does move up here and closes above the 200 EMA, that it will pull back. Not that far, but it'll pull back before continuing upwards. So you can wait for that pullback in the event that you're wrong. All right, guys, I'm getting tired. Wow, sorry. I am getting tired, so we're gonna call it there, guys. Yeah, We covered a lot today, guys. We covered a lot. Bitcoin, we looked at quite a few assets here. I'm gonna go enjoy some. I'm gonna enjoy some lunch, and then I'm gonna go back to writing content for the premium group, guys. That's what I'm gonna do with my life. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and/or death threats, please leave them in the comment section down below. Steal yourself for some plugs. All right. If you guys would like to support the channel and you guys enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an update over here on the YouTubes. Smash the like button is always appreciated, guys. If you're watching on Twitch or D Live, you guys can give us a follow. Or if you guys would really like to support us, a subscription always helps the channel out. If you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, guys, if you guys would retweet, repost, and like the post, it's always much appreciated. Helps us continue to grow. If you guys are looking for an exchange, you guys haven't picked one out, I highly recommend Bybit. You can visit the link in the description down below, bybit.krakencryptocurrency.com. It is an affiliate link. It does support the channel, but it is the exchange that I trade on. Highly recommend them, and I would not do the majority of my trading on any other exchange. And if you guys are interested to use our premium indicators, if you guys would like access to our signal service, if you guys would like access to our online trading academy, where we can teach you how to become a trader from the ground up with no experience, how to build a mechanical strategy from the ground up, including backtesting, algorithmic, and manual. You guys can find all that information at premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. And whatever you do, join the free Discord at discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. It's the place to stay in touch. All right, guys. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. on the Eastern Seaboard for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin. And until then, I will see you in the next one, and trade safely, guys. Make sure to tip your waitresses or waiters. 2022. Oh, good. Later, guys.